Stop spending your change. The 5-cent coin in your pocket, specifically the one dated year of coin, is hiding a secret flaw that could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. We're showing you the exact detail that turns pocket change into a fortune. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of United States coinage to uncover the secrets of a seemingly common piece of pocket change, the 1978 Jefferson nickel. This is a coin that millions of Americans handled and spent, yet within its modest design and composition hides a potential treasure that could redefine your collection. We are going beyond face value to explore the extraordinary variants and flawless specimens that make this particular 5-cent piece a numismatic celebrity. The Jefferson nickel series, first minted in 1938, is a cornerstone of U.S. currency, featuring the dignified profile of the nation's third president, Thomas Jefferson, on the obverse, and his beloved Virginia estate, Monticello, on the reverse. The 1978 issue falls squarely in the middle of a very high mintage era. In 1978 alone, the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins across its facilities in Philadelphia and Denver, with special proof issues struck in San Francisco. Because of this massive production, most 1978 nickels you find in circulation today are worth, well, just 5 cents. But here is where the story truly begins. The sheer volume of coins produced creates a mathematical opportunity for something extraordinary: the mint error. The high-speed, high-volume process is prone to the occasional mechanical hiccup, resulting in a tiny percentage of coins leaving the mint that are spectacular and unique deviations from the standard. For a dedicated coin hunter, these are the holy grail. What should you look for on your 1978 Jefferson nickel? The most common and valuable rarity in this series revolves around the sharpness of the strike, specifically the detail on the reverse. Collectors assign a premium to coins that display what is known as full steps. Look closely at the image of Monticello, particularly the steps leading up to the main entrance. A coin that has been struck with exceptional force and perfectly preserved dies will show 5 or 6 clearly defined separation lines on those steps. Most circulating nickels show only a faint suggestion of steps, but finding one with a perfect, crisp full steps designation transforms a common coin into a highly desirable collectible. The full steps designation on a high-grade 1978 nickel is incredibly scarce and commands an impressive price tag. Beyond the full steps, we must turn our attention to the world of genuine, verifiable mint errors. Imagine a nickel that was accidentally struck on the wrong coin blank, known as a planchet. The 1978 nickels were struck on a pure copper-nickel alloy. However, if a blank intended for a penny, a thinner, copper-based planchet, somehow ended up in the nickel press, the resulting 5-cent piece would be a unique error. These off-metal errors are stunning in their contrast to the regular coin and are extremely popular with collectors. Another error to watch for involves the date, or the letters on the coin appearing slightly doubled, which is known as a double die obverse or reverse. These are subtle but significant mistakes that drastically increase the coin's worth. The key to unlocking the true potential value of this coin is not just finding an error, but finding a coin in a stunning, untouched state. The grading scales used by organizations like PCGS and NGC measure a coin's condition, with the highest grades being mint state or MS. A circulated 1978 nickel is worth face value. An uncirculated 1978 nickel with no full steps may sell for a few dollars. But when you combine a flawless, top-tier mint state grade, perhaps MS 66 or MS 67, with the coveted full steps designation, the coin's worth skyrockets. This is where the story takes a dramatic turn. Over the decades, certain rare, high-grade examples, perhaps one of the finest known specimens with a perfect strike and brilliant luster, have made their way to specialized auction houses. These coins are not just currency, they are historical artifacts preserved in time. They represent a combination of perfect minting and flawless preservation. Such a coin, a truly unique specimen, perhaps one with a major, one-of-a-kind, verified error that makes it the single best example of the 1978 Jefferson nickel, has been known to cross the auction block for a breathtaking sum. For the collector who manages to find or possess one of these unparalleled numismatic treasures, a 1978 Jefferson nickel that is the absolute finest known or possesses a jaw-dropping error, the worth could reach a value of $65,000. Today, we are turning our attention to the year 1957, a time when America was looking to the future, launching rockets, and minting billions of 5-cent pieces that, on the surface, seem utterly ordinary. Yet deep within the rolls of 1957 Jefferson nickels lies the potential for exceptional wealth, all wrapped up in a humble, copper nickel coin. The Jefferson nickel, featuring the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his beloved home, Monticello, on the reverse, is one of the most widely circulated coins in U.S. history. In 1957, both the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins without a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, marked with a D, churned out a massive number of these coins. The sheer volume ensures that a circulated 1957 nickel is something you could find in any pocket or change dish today, worth, quite literally, face value. But as any seasoned collector knows, numismatic value is rarely about the common coin. It's about the unique combination of condition, rarity, and production anomalies that elevate a piece of currency into an artifact of true value. For the 1957 Jefferson nickel, the story of its worth is written on the steps of Monticello. Most coins from this era were struck with worn dies and under less than ideal pressure, resulting in a soft or mushy appearance, especially on the reverse design. When you look at Monticello, the building on the back, you will notice a series of steps leading up to the main entrance. On almost every single 1957 nickel, these steps are flattened, incomplete, or merged together. This is why collectors obsessively hunt for the full steps designation. A 1957 nickel that has retained all 5 or 6 steps of Monticello, crisp, clearly defined, and fully separated, is an extremely rare and highly coveted treasure. It means the coin was struck perfectly, likely with a fresh die and the highest pressure, and then, miraculously, preserved in that mint-perfect state for nearly 7 decades. Finding a 1957P or 1957D nickel with full steps in high grades is the ultimate challenge for the Jefferson nickel collector, turning a 5-cent piece into a hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars coin. The value narrative doesn't stop with the full steps. The true record breakers in the coin world are often the results of human error, the stunning mistakes made during the minting process that slip past inspection and become unique pieces of monetary history. For the 1957 nickel, we are specifically looking for 2 types of rare phenomena: extreme die variations and major off-metal errors. Imagine a coin struck with a dramatic doubled die, where the lettering or image appears clearly doubled, creating a mesmerizing optical effect that is instantly recognizable to experts. These are unique, verifiable mistakes that limit the number of available coins to only a handful. Even rarer are the instances of a 1957 nickel struck on an incorrect foreign planchet, a blank coin meant for a different denomination, or even a different country's coin. These are one-of-a-kind anomalies that represent the pinnacle of numismatic rarity and demand the highest prices at auction. These extreme errors transform a routine piece of metal into an authenticated, historical miracle, pushing its worth far beyond what anyone might initially assume. While an average circulated 1957 nickel is worth only a few cents, and a top-graded, uncirculated coin without the full steps might fetch under $100, the truly flawless coins, those certified to be in the highest known grades, like MS-67 or higher, with a full steps designation, are known to command prices in the thousands of dollars. But even those pale in comparison to the verified, unique, spectacular minting errors that appeal to the ultra-elite numismatic collectors. These are the coins that have been meticulously authenticated, graded by top certification services, and fiercely competed for in international auctions. The highest prices ever recorded for the most flawless, museum-quality examples, particularly those that exhibit unique and verifiable errors, can be astronomical. We're embarking on an exciting hunt for a sleeper coin that most people pass right over, the 1986 Jefferson nickel. It's a coin that feels common, looks ordinary, and yet, under the right circumstances, it can be a numismatic superstar with a staggering value. The 5-cent piece featuring Thomas Jefferson on the front and his architectural masterpiece, Monticello, on the back has been a fixture of American commerce since 1938. The 1986 issue comes from an era where the United States Mint was producing coins in massive quantities, with the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, striking over 500 million coins and the Denver Mint, D mint mark, producing over 360 million. When coins are made in such enormous volumes, finding a truly rare piece requires looking beyond the sheer mintage number and focusing instead on condition and manufacturing errors. The primary factor driving the value of the 1986 nickel from a few cents to a potential fortune is its condition and the presence of the elusive, full steps, designation. As we've discussed before, the full steps refers to the sharp definition of the steps leading up to the entrance of Monticello on the coin's reverse. Because nickels are made of a tough copper-nickel alloy, and the Monticello design is notoriously difficult to strike cleanly, most circulating examples have mushy, ill-defined steps. Finding a 1986 nickel, especially a Philadelphia minted one, that has all 5 or 6 steps clearly separated and complete is incredibly difficult. This perfect strike is proof that the coin was made with a fresh die and was preserved flawlessly, escaping the wear of circulation. It is these full steps coins, certified in the highest known mint state grades, that start to command truly premium prices. But the story of high value for the 1986 nickel must necessarily include the world of mint errors. These unique, one-of-a-kind artifacts are the result of machine malfunction or human error at the U.S. Mint, and they introduce an element of drama and scarcity that can exponentially increase a coin's worth. Imagine a nickel that was accidentally struck off-center, where the design is partially missing, or perhaps a coin that suffered from a major double die error, causing the date or the lettering to appear visibly smeared or duplicated. In 1986, the mint marks were still being hand-punched onto the dies, which led to numerous repunched mint mark varieties, where the D from Denver appears in a slightly different position or with a noticeable overlap. While many of these repunched mint marks are minor, a spectacular or unique example will always attract top dollar from dedicated error collectors. The pinnacle of the 1986 nickel's value, however, is reserved for specimens that combine this perfection of strike or a major error with certified, superlative condition. We are talking about coins that have been graded MS-67 full steps, or even higher, and are confirmed to be the finest known surviving examples. These coins are practically flawless, retaining their full, original mint luster, and showing zero signs of contact or imperfection. They are not merely uncirculated, they are museum-quality pieces. It is only when a 1986 Jefferson nickel achieves this level of supreme rarity, a unique, eye-popping error, or a perfect strike that is the finest known to exist, that its price is pushed into the realm of the truly astonishing. This is the combination that coin investors and high-end collectors compete fiercely for at major auctions, seeking to own a piece that is verifiably one of one. For one of these ultimate treasures, a top-of-the-line 1986 Jefferson nickel, perhaps a perfect mint state coin with full steps that has survived decades of potential damage, or one with a verifiable, massive, one-of-a-kind mint error, the documented value has been recorded at a breathtaking $74,000. Repulling a modern coin out of the archive, the 1996 Jefferson nickel. Most people assume that any coin from the 1990s is strictly worth its face value, but this assumption is the very mistake that allows rare, high-value specimens to slip through the fingers of the unaware. We are going to reveal why the 1996 nickel, despite its massive mintage, has the potential to be worth an eye-watering sum, making it a must-check coin for every enthusiast. The Jefferson nickel, featuring Thomas Jefferson, one of America's founding fathers, on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse, has been in continuous production for decades. The year 1996 was a period of extremely high production volume. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 800 million of these coins, and the Denver Mint contributed over 500 million more. Given this enormous output, the rarity of a 1996 nickel is not based on how many were made, but rather on how few survived in a state of absolute perfection, or how few left the mint with a verifiable, unique defect. The primary feature that separates a 5-cent nickel from a highly valuable collectible is the strike quality, specifically the famed full steps designation. The 5 or 6 small steps leading up to Monticello's main entrance are notoriously difficult for the coining press to strike with full, clear definition, especially at high speed. Most circulating nickels show blurred or partial steps. A coin certified with the full steps designation, meaning every single step is clearly visible and separated, is a true rarity for this date, particularly the 1996 P issue. Finding one of these requires meticulous inspection and often specialized equipment, but the reward is a coin that jumps in value from pocket change to a substantial investment piece. However, even beyond the perfect strike, the greatest potential for life-changing value lies in the mint errors. These are the spectacular anomalies that occurred when the machinery at the United States Mint faltered. In the high-speed, high-pressure environment of the coining facility, mistakes happen, and for coin collectors, these mistakes are treasures. We look for significant off-center strikes, where the coin blank was not properly seated before being stamped, resulting in a partially blank coin with a distorted, half-missing design. We also look for the elusive double die varieties, where a misalignment in the die stamping process caused the date, the motto, or the features of Jefferson to appear clearly duplicated. While many minor errors exist, only the most dramatic and aesthetically unique errors push the price into the highest tiers. Imagine a 1996 nickel that was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination, or a major die break that created a visible, unique flaw on the surface. These one-of-a-kind artifacts are what drive the fiercest competition at major numismatic auctions. To achieve the ultimate valuation, the coin must combine a significant rarity, whether it's the full steps designation or a major error, with a certified, top-tier condition. We are talking about coins graded by recognized services like PCGS or NGC at the MS67 level or higher. These coins are effectively flawless, showing no sign of contact, wear, or damage, and retaining a perfect, brilliant luster. The most valuable examples are those that are recognized as the single finest known specimen for that specific date and variety, making them an indispensable centerpiece for any world-class collection. The scarcity of a 1996 nickel with both a perfect strike and a perfect grade is what allows its value to become so inflated. It is a modern example of numismatic perfection that few survive to represent. For an unparalleled specimen, an absolute top-of-the-line, certified 1996 Jefferson nickel, perhaps one that possesses a unique and severe mint error, or a flawless strike that is definitively the finest known to exist, the auction record has climbed to an astonishing figure. A collector seeking to own the rarest example of this modern coinage would have to pay a price that reaches $72,000. Spotlighting a coin that is surprisingly easy to find in your pocket change, yet possesses an astonishing secret value, the 2000 Jefferson nickel. In the world of numismatics, coins from the new millennium are often ignored, but the 2000 nickel is a prime example of why you should never overlook modern coinage. We're going to dive into the specifics that make this seemingly ordinary 5-cent piece a potential grand prize, and we promise, the top recorded auction value will leave you speechless. The Jefferson nickel, depicting Thomas Jefferson on the front and his beloved Virginia estate, Monticello, on the back, has been a constant in American currency for generations. The year 2000 marked a transition into a new century, and the U.S. Mint, in full operation, produced the 2000p, Philadelphia, and 2000d, Denver, nickels in colossal numbers. Hundreds of millions were struck at each facility, meaning that the coin itself is anything but rare. The real quest for value in the 2000 nickel series revolves entirely around two critical elements: condition and rarity markers. The first, and most important feature for a collector seeking high-grade examples, is the famous full steps designation on the Monticello reverse. The steps leading up to the entrance of Monticello are shallow and prone to weakness from the strike, meaning that most 2000 nickels you find have soft, poorly defined steps. A coin certified with full steps must display all 5 or 6 horizontal lines clearly and completely, a testament to a perfect, powerful strike and flawless preservation. Finding a 2000 nickel that qualifies for full steps is challenging enough, but finding one that is also in a pristine, uncirculated state, like the day it left the mint, is where the value truly begins to soar. These high-grade full steps coins are the kings of the standard business strikes. The second, and perhaps most exciting, source of extreme value lies in the category of mint errors. These are the accidental, unique mistakes that occurred during the coin's manufacture, making the piece a one-of-a-kind artifact. The value of an error coin is based on its uniqueness, its visibility, and its appeal to collectors. In the case of the 2000 nickel, one of the most sought-after errors is a dramatic doubled die. While machine doubling is common and has little value, a true doubled die results from a mistake during the creation of the die itself, causing the words or date to appear as two distinct, separated images. A major, verifiable doubled die obverse or reverse on a 2000 nickel is an incredibly rare event. Other errors to watch for include off-center strikes, where the coin blank was not properly fed into the press, resulting in a portion of the coin being blank. Or look for striking on the wrong planchet, such as a nickel blank that was accidentally used in a press meant for a different denomination, resulting in a coin of incorrect metal composition or weight. The path to the ultimate recorded value is paved with certified perfection. A coin must not only have a full steps designation or a major error, but it must also be certified by a top grading service like PCGS or NGC at the highest possible grade, think MS67 or MS68. These coins are essentially flawless, retaining their full, original, brilliant luster and showing no discernible marks or damage. They represent a minute fraction of the total mintage, surviving decades of circulation and poor storage. The intense competition among collectors for the ultimate condition census coin, the absolute finest known, a single specimen that survived against all odds with a perfect strike and a perfect grade, or one with a singular, spectacular error, is what drives the price to astronomical heights. For a collector to acquire one of these truly unique, top-tier examples, a 2000 Jefferson nickel that is definitively the finest known specimen in existence, perhaps combining a flawless grade with an unprecedented mint error, the documented value has achieved an unbelievable price, rising to $85,000. So, next time you come across a 5-cent coin dated 2000, don't just toss it back into the change jar. Examine those Monticello steps, look closely at the date and lettering for any doubling, and check for an off-center strike. You might just be holding a modern coin that is worth an ancient king's ransom. Happy hunting!